my friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. My name's Melissa and in today's video I'm trying 3 different techniques that I've never used before, and I'm going to take some home decor pieces and turn them into beautiful home decor that you are absolutely going to love. They all have a very French Provincial blue and white theme to them, so I can't wait to show them to you. Let's go ahead and get started. For this first project, I just took 3 books that were about the same size, and I'm gonna paint them and make a decorative book stack. And the color I'm gonna use is by Country Chic, and it's called Peacoat, and it's a really pretty dark navy color. So I'm just gonna paint this book in the navy. I am using this as the bottom book, so I'm only painting this back cover fully, and I'll only paint around the edges of the other side. Now, I found this material at Walmart, and I just thought it was so pretty. So for this book, I'm painting this red part white because I am going to use the material, and this is actually the Plaster Color by Waverly. And I am using the material and to put around the spine. But for the top book, I'm painting the top cover fully because it's going to be on the top. And then I'm painting around the edges of the other side. So here's where I am using some Mod Podge around the spine and using that material that I got from Walmart. It's so pretty. So I knew it would be perfect for this little set. And when I'm finished, I just kind of press the edges into the side of the book, and then that portion is done. Once I've put a couple of coats of the Plaster Waverly paint on the top, I'm going to use this transfer set that someone gave to me, and they said they got it from Amazon, so I'm going to give it a try, and I'm going to pick out the one that I think fits best with the material that I used on the spine. So it's this one right here. It looks less hydrangea and more like flowers, and then I'm going to use the butterfly on part of it as well. And here's where things kind of went a little wonky. I've never used this kind of transfer set wherever it came from Amazon, but I immediately started having problems. I could tell it was going to be a little different than the one I normally use because the clear part was more sticky. It was like a sticky material, like a sticker, and so it was pulling off the paint. Okay, I'm not even going to put the link to these transfers in the description box because they are terrible. This is like plastic and it's sticky on the whole thing. It's actually sticky. So it pulled off a lot of the paint where the transfer was not. So I would definitely say do not buy these transfers. Be careful what transfers you buy on Amazon. I have bought some and they have worked out. These are not good. So do not buy. Be careful where you buy your transfers. I will say that. So now I have to go back and hopefully fix this up. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to find another book and go another route. I'm gonna try to fix it. So I'm just using a small little paintbrush, and it looks like it's covering pretty good. So I just make sure that I get all the spots that the transfer plastic took off, and then I will finish from there. Okay, I think I've salvaged it. I did take some some transfers from a different set that I had already. And I just added, I felt like there needed to be something else here, which I had planned on putting something else here with this transfer set. But after that fiasco, I decided to use my own. But anyway, you live, you learn. The only thing is this is so shiny, so hopefully once I put the wax on top, it will make it be a little more dull. But I mean, it's still pretty. So, and then so the next step is to take all 3 books. So I have this book here. This is going to be on the bottom. This book is going to be in the middle. And this book is going to be on top. So I'm going to now hot glue these together just to make it more stable for, you know, just decor. And also I'm going to put this ribbon around it. I think that'll be really pretty. It'll bring out some of the darker colors in the material as well as this butterfly. So let me get these hot glued together. Now I'm going to use the Waverly Clear Wax to seal the paint and seal those transfers and hopefully take away some of the shininess of those transfers. And then once I get all the wax on there, I take a shop towel and wipe off the excess. I found this ribbon at Hobby Lobby and it was actually on clearance. I think it was like 99 cents or 79 cents. So I'm just going to use a little dollop of hot glue to put the first side of the ribbon down, and then I'll continue wrapping it around the book until it joins again and hot glue that down. And then I'm going to make a bow. Now look, a bow maker, I am not. So I do the easiest way possible and I basically just take the ribbon and crisscross it, and I'm going to do 2 of these. I'm going to make one a little bit smaller than the other, and then I'm just going to tie them together with some string, and that is the extent of my bow making skills. Now that I have it tied together, I'm just going to put some hot glue where the ribbon got hot glued down on the book, and I'm just going to put the bow there. And then I have actually 2 different buttons that I'm going to use for the center of the bow. One of the buttons is a blue and it's a little bit bigger than the gold button. So I'm just going to hot glue the gold button inside the blue button and then hot glue that on top of the bow in the center. And for the last little touch, I'm taking the 2 tails that are a little bit longer and I'm kind of scrunching them up a little bit to make it look kind of like there's a wave in the ribbon, and I'm just going to hot glue down the little edge. So it just kind of gives the tails of the ribbon a little more movement. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, it just gives the ribbon a little bit of an illusion of movement. And that is it. This book stack is done. And I actually was going to put this in my booth, but I decided to go ahead and put it on Facebook Marketplace. and it sold the same day I put it on Marketplace. So this went really quickly, and I just think it turned out so pretty. For project number 2, I'm taking this little canister jar that I found at the thrift store. I think I maybe paid $1 for it. I mainly bought it because I loved this little pull on the top, but it has this silicone kind of sealer around the edge. So when I paint it, I'm gonna keep that intact. So I'm just gonna kind of paint around it, but I'm gonna use the Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White. And for this, it is definitely going to take 3 coats just because of the glass. I just wanted to make sure it had really good coverage. So I'm doing the bottom first, just so that once I get that painted and it's done, then I can turn it over and paint the rest. But after I paint it, just to make sure I get rid of brush strokes, I don't want any brush strokes, I take my brush and I just kind of dab it on the paint just to kind of give it a little bit of a textured look so that you don't see those brush strokes. But I start painting the top and then I realize, duh, you can remove this handle. So I removed the handle and it made painting this much easier. But I do the same process for the lid. I paint it and then get rid of brush strokes with dabbing. Now that I have painted it, I'm going to use this set of transfers, and this is a set by Redesign with Prima that I got from Amazon, and I'm going to use this one right here. So I took out the center part because I didn't want to use it because I'm going to do something a little different, but you just transfer it by placing it where you want it on your project, and you use this little stick to rub the transfer really good onto your project, and you start peeling away that top clear sheet. And once you do that, then you go over it with that vellum to burnish it in. This is a mold that I got from Temu, and so I'm going to use this small little oval mold to put in the center of that blue design. So I'm putting some cornstarch in it to keep the mold, or keep the clay from sticking, make it easier to come out. So I just have that clay in there and I'm pressing around the edges just to get that shape real good. And once I get all of that peeled away or broken away, then you just take the mold, the silicone mold, and it just kind of starts falling out. You just want to be real careful. And this is the first time I've ever done a mold casting before, so you'll just have to be patient. If there's a better way to put the glue and all that good stuff, let me know. But this is my first time, and again, pardon my hands from shaking. I have tremors, so I don't need, I've had people make really ugly comments about I need to stop eating so much sugar, or whatever. But anyway, I get the mold put on there, I let it set overnight, and the next morning I woke up and it was dry and it was all glued to the jar. So now I'm just going to go over it with a small little paintbrush in that same Snow White color by Waverly. And after that dries, I'm going to take 2 butterflies from that same transfer set and put those in the center of that little frame. And once that is done, then I'm going to go over it with a clear wax. I think it turned out really good. It was my first time, so I'm kind of pleased that, it came out like it did. But I'm using this clear wax by Waverly, and I'm going to go over it with that first. Once I get all of the clear wax brushed on and real good around that frame part, all those little details, then I'm going to take a shop towel and wipe back the excess. And now I'm going to give it a more aged and vintagey look by using the Waverly Antique Wax. And I am going to I'm going to really focus around the frame area mainly, but I want it all to look a little aged. So once I get it around the frame and I start wiping it back, then I just kind of start playing with it and adding more if I want a little more in some areas, and then using clear wax. If I see I've got too much in one area, then I just use some clear wax and just wipe it away. But I just do this until I kind of get the look that I'm going for. Okay, I finished all that, and I did try to put a little bit of antique wax on the handle or the knob, but I'm going to use this Gold Rush metallic luster, kind of like a rub and buff, I guess. But I just want to kind of get around that frame just a little bit, just to bring some of that gold that's in the knob kind of down here on this piece too. And it's not perfect. I didn't want it to be perfect because I feel like it has that vintagey aged look, so it's not going to be perfect if it were truly vintage. Once that's done, I get the knob put back on the top, and that is it for this project. This was a fun project to do because I got to try the mold for the first time. So I think it turned out really good. I think it's very pretty, and I think this would look great in someone's bathroom or even a kitchen. I just think this is very elegant and very French Provincial. Let me know what you think in the comments. And for project 3, I'm using these 2 items that I got from Dollar Tree. I just thought this bird was really pretty, and I saw something, I don't even remember where I saw it, but it was a bird on a pedestal, and I thought, okay, I can definitely do that with these 2 things from Dollar Tree. So I'm just gonna put some E6000 and hot glue around the rim of the candlestick, and the E6000 is gonna hold it into place permanently, and the hot glue is gonna hold it in place until that E6000 dries. So I just set the bird on top, and then I wrapped it in some duct tape and let it set overnight. At first I was thinking I was just going to paint this with this plaster Waverly chalk paint, and I did paint it in the Waverly, and I gave it 3 good coats because of the glass. I wanted to make sure the glass did kind of peek through the paint, but I also, when I painted it on, I did that stippling pouncing motion with the brush just to give it some texture so that you didn't see any brush strokes. But I was initially thinking I was gonna just use like an antique wax over it, but I've done that before, so I decided I would give making it look like concrete a try. I've seen this done before, so I'm gonna use this elephant chalk paint by Waverly, and I'm just dry brushing it on as best I could. I was trying to get my brush as dry as possible, but I was just kind of randomly putting it. I still wanted the white to show through because, I mean, concrete. So once I got that on, I thought I was going to use the black, but I decided it kind of was starting to look like I wanted it to. So I went back over with the dry brush and that plaster color, and it really gave me the look I was going for. So now I'm just going to use some ribbon. I have this material that I got from Restore. I got a big bolt of this fabric from Restore for like $2. This material I got from Walmart. I love the material. And then I got this ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and it was on clearance for 99 cents. And so I'm going to use some of that. And I just cut the fabric into strips, or I ripped the fabric into strips, and then used the ribbon, the lace ribbon. And I'm just going to do crisscross because, again, I'm not an expert in bow making. So I'm just doing a little crisscross kind of messy bow kind of action, and then with this last piece of lace, I'm just going to tie it around the center to tie it all together. And then I'm going to hot glue it to the base of the bird, like right beneath the bird. And then hot glue a button, gold button on the top. And that is this project. This one was so easy, and I really wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do that concrete thing, but you know what? You never know until you try. So I'm finally getting this little gold button hot glued on. This project is done, and I actually think it turned out really cute. You'll have to let me know in the comments, does this kind of look like a concrete bird to you? So really, in each project in this video, I've done things that I really had never done before, like this bird having the concrete look, the second project with the mold, and then the first project using fabric on one of the book spines. So I kind of stepped out of my comfort zone a little bit on all these projects, but I would love to know in the comments which one is your favorite. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider being a part of my YouTube family. Click the subscribe button and click the bell button so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you want to see more thrift flip videos, then make sure you check the box you see on the screen right now. And I'll see you next time. Bye.